Welcome to Walking with Jesus Bible Study. We are going to be in the book of Luke, chapter 11, verses 10. And this is Jesus speaking. For everyone that asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened. And I'm going to repeat that. For everyone that asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knocketh it shall be opened. What is your prayer life like? What is your relationship with God? Is it growing? Is it stagnant? When we read this verse, we are reminded that how we pray matters. When we should pray, it should be diligently, consistently, making our hearts and requests known to God. When we ask, we shall receive. We should not just say the prayer and be finished. We should look for what God may be using to answer our prayers, because when we seek it, we shall find. After praying and seeking, we should continue seeking God without giving up. God will open those doors. He can also close doors. It's not that God can't answer prayers, because there is nothing too great for him. We got to remember it's up to God's will. Sometimes our prayers are not lining up with God's will. Maybe he doesn't want to give you that. Maybe he doesn't think you deserve it. He is a just God. Remember, he knows your thoughts and your actions. Let's put it this way. You have your parents. And then you have somebody that is an acquaintance of a co-worker, and you may have seen them one time. Both of them ask you for 10 grand. Who are you more likely to give that 10 grand to? Your parents? Or somebody that you have seen that you don't even hardly know? They're not even friends of your friends. They're not even an acquaintance of your friends. So how is your relationship with God? Will you think he's going to answer it when all you do is come to him and just ask him for things, and he does not know you? It is important to have a relationship with God. Not just come to him in prayer when you only need something. But you should be in prayer with him multiple times a day. Not just that giving thanks for your food. Not just when you go to bed and say that prayer before bed. It should be at least 3 times a day that you should be praying. As we have read in the scriptures, Daniel is a good example. 3 times a day, they at least saw him in prayer to God. It's probably when he first woke up, in the middle of the day before he went to bed. That is 3 times that he has conversated with his Father. At least. We are supposed to be in consistency in prayer. We talk to our best friends 1 million times a day and tell them everything. We're supposed to be in the same conversation, in the same relationship with God. He is our best friend. He is our Father. He created us. Without him, we are nothing. Without him, we can do nothing. Without him, we can be nothing. So if he controls every single thing that has to do with your whole entire existence, why wouldn't you be in conversation with somebody that could end your life just like that? If you are imprisoned, held captive, and this person determines whether you eat, drink, or lived, most people will be in straight communication with that person, doing any and everything that that person has told them to do, hoping that that person would continue to let them live, hoping that that person would continue to allow them to eat, to go to the restroom. God has the same power and control, but yet he gives you free will. And most people can't even acknowledge that he exists. Most people can't even remember to give him thanks. They're so greedy with all the things that they already have that all they want to do is ask for more and for more and for more and forget to even give thanks and be grateful for the things that they already have. Knowing that any moment God can take it away from you. If he giveth, he could take it away. But do not have no doubt, do not have no fear that God could answer your prayers. He says it many times in the scriptures. Is there nothing too great for me? That all you needed was faith. Faith the size of the mustard seed. You don't even have to have a big size mountain of faith. Just a little bit. Just a little bit can make you move mountains. And that's all we need to believe and to trust in God. But just because our certain prayers do not get answered doesn't mean we get to sit there and say that God is a God who does not answer prayers. That God can't do this. Or this must have been too great for God. Maybe you wasn't great enough for God. Maybe you need to put a little bit more work into that relationship. It's not that you shouldn't trust God, but can God trust you? Most reasons why most people do not get the things that they ask for is because once, if God was to give it to you, you would no longer seek him. You would no longer go to him. And that's generally how most people who get wealthy tend to do. They forget all about God. Oh, but when they was poor and needy and down and out, they would be in prayer. God, we just need help. We love you, blah, blah, blah. But then when they get there and when they get blessed and when they get this money, they may have think that when they first got it, but then they no more remember who he was or that he even exists. They're so caught up in themselves and so caught up in the wealth that they forget. See, it's not that God don't bless people. He does. And he does bless people with wealth. As we can see, he made many of men who were shepherd boys to be kings over kingdoms. Oh, he blesses. But that whole prosperity gospel that people are preaching is insane. Basically, they get that out of the book of Proverbs, which Solomon wrote. But he also wrote Ecclesiastics. And if you're going to preach Proverbs, then you need to go ahead and make sure you preach Ecclesiastics. See, Proverbs, that when Solomon was writing that, was when you could tell when he was out seeking, why is this, all this vanity, all this and that. But Ecclesiastes, after he's gotten a little bit older and even more wiser than what he was already is, it's reality. That's why it's very important to read your whole entire Bible. Proverbs may be about wisdom, but Ecclesiastes is about reality. And they forget to do that. You can't have one without the other. And it's not a sin to be wealthy. And it does not say in the scriptures that you can't be wealthy and not enter into heaven. Many rich people can enter into heaven. They just have to remain humble. To get into that narrow gate, it is too tall for the camel to reach, that a person sitting on their so-called high horse will not be able to fit to the eye of the gate because they're already too tall. But if they get off of that camel, off of that high horse, bow down and humble themselves to God, they may enter. So it's not that it's impossible. It's just a lot of people forget to be humble when they're already wealthy. And that's why it is mostly hard for a person who does have wealth to enter. Most people are not wealthy and humble at the same time. but it is not a sin to be